What's up, y'all? Welcome to the Forte Podcast. I am your co-host, Dominic Epps.
And I'm your co-host, Randall Monfiston.
And we are here to dive into your lane of greatness to find out what comes easy for you that may be challenging for others.
Everyone's a genius, from the 9-to-5 employee to the Fortune 500 billionaire. We're here to highlight those attributes through dialogue and interviews with amazing guests.
All right, let's get right into it, brother. What's your forte?
What's your forte? All right. So today we have another amazing guest on the Forte Podcast, and I'm not going to take too much of her reign and being able to tell what she does and what's her forte. So Tiffany, come off mic and be able to tell these people what you do and what's your forte.
Well, first of all, thank you guys for having me. Congrats on the Forte Podcast. You two are the epitome of taking an idea and running with it. You feel me?
No doubt.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me. So, my name is Tiffany Culley. I am, by profession, an experienced project manager. But I'm here representing my business. I'm a small business owner. I am the CEO and co-founder of Resolute Management Group, also known as RMG. We are a small government contracting business. I own it with my younger brother, Marcus Culley, who is my business partner. And we've been in business for about 3 years now. Just in these government contracts, trying to get this money. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So we're going to get into this because you're talking about small, like y'all doing small work, but y'all doing some big things. Y'all doing some big things. I don't care what you talk. You know what you said. So, but Tiffany,
SBA's definition, we are a small business.
Absolutely. Okay, I got you. But you're doing big things as a small business. But before we get into your actual business, right? Tell us a little bit about Tiffany. Who is Tiffany? Where are you from? Give us a little bit about your background.
Oh, who is Tiffany? Tiffany is just a small town girl. I am a Southerner. I'm from Georgia. I say I'm from Georgia because I was born in Georgia, spent most of my childhood in Georgia. However, I'm a military brat. Our parents were in the military. We've been all over the place, Germany, South Carolina, Virginia. And that's kind of how I met Randall. I went in the military myself after high school. I went in the Navy. I did 4 years and I was like, this is it. I'm done. I can't do no more. Like, I served my time and I got my honorable discharge and bounced. But since then, I continued to, of course, get my education. I ran those degrees up. Started working slowly, getting into the corporate business or just in the corporate industry. I've been in admin. That's how I started out. And when I eventually got to the point where I wanted to get my master's degree, I got it in project management. So I kind of got into that industry. I've been doing it for about almost 12 years now. I've been in that industry, just kind of feeling my way around. Listen, I just work. That's all I do.
Yeah, that's
and
cool.
My brother, he's also a project manager. So we do the same thing. It's odd that we're both ended up kind of in the same industry, or in the same field. We just work in different industries. So my background is in IT and construction, office build outs, and his is more of a financial background, and in healthcare. So we put our expertise together and said, look, let's go after these contracts. You know what I mean? Let's do it as a team. Let's work together. And that's what we're doing,
So tell us about that journey from the time that you had the idea. Like, you give us kudos for being able to put foot to pavement and make this podcast come to fruition. So kind of walk our viewers, our listeners through the process from the time that you and Marcus sat down and said, hey, like, let's get into government contracting. What are some of the things that you had to put in place? Who did you have to talk to? Was there any type of mentors that you had to seek out, classes,
Definitely.
or some type of anything like that? Like, let's break that down.
So Marcus brought this idea to me. I really didn't want to do it originally. I'll be honest with you. When I got out of the Navy, I started working for a government contracting company. It was a huge one, Newport News Shipbuilding. And I realized, I kind of don't really want to do this. I started working in project management. But then when we moved up to the DC area, I had a hard time finding work as a project manager. All I had was the degree, didn't have the experience. So I fell back in government contracting, and that was a loop. It was like being on a hamster wheel for me. I didn't retire from the military, so I didn't have this cushiony pension and I could sit back and collect a 6-figure salary. I needed to get somewhere and put my feet in the soil and grow the company and become a manager because I hadn't had that opportunity yet. And when he brought this to me, it was like, yo, let's get these contracts. I was like, I don't want to work for the government again. Like, I don't want to do it. I didn't have a great experience before, but he was like, it'd be so different, working for the government or working with them instead of working for them. So we just kind of did some background research. We did have some really good mentors. I worked for a guy named Terry Yarbrough. He has a government contracting company. Shout out to Terry. He was a very, very helpful mentor for us. And I love it when people can reach back and just say, you know what, there's enough pie out here for all of us. Come on, let me show you what I know. Let me teach you what I know. And that's what he did. He kind of just, anytime we needed an answer to a question, he was just always there for us. So yeah, we did some background research. It started with really discovering what we wanted to do. Where's our lane? We already knew where we were as individuals. What did we want to do? So at first it was just consulting. He has a consulting company. And so we were just going to help people do work. And it eventually snowballed into, well, let's go after some contracts too. And let's staff. And in staffing, the way that we're set up, we are set up like a staffing company. But because government contracts is like, it is staffing, you're basically hiring people to work for you. We get these contracts. We're not working them ourselves. We're hiring competent, of course, people to come in and be the face of RMG for these government agencies. And that's not just, something you just do on a whim. You don't just go hire some Joe Small off the street to go be the face of your company for a Department of Defense contract, or, you know what I'm saying? You have to really make sure that you're bringing on people who know what they're doing and can make you look good. And so
I got a question for you, Tim. I want to back up a little bit, right? So
yeah,
you all started this business, right? I'm just curious, is entrepreneurship something that runs in your family? Like, did you all have someone in your family that modeled entrepreneurship, that gave you all a sense of, oh, we can actually do this because we've seen so-and-so do this?
Yeah. Oddly enough, I know of one of our uncles. He's no longer with us. My Uncle Leon, he was top dog. That's what his brothers and sisters called him. He was the oldest of 9, and he ran his own cleaning company in South Georgia. And we were little kids. We really didn't know much about what he was doing. But as we got older, we realized, like, it is in the family. We didn't see it and say, we're going to go and do exactly what he did. We just kind of, I don't know. It's either in you or it's not. And I wouldn't say we modeled it after him because, again, we were so young. We didn't really know the impact that he was making. But yeah, he was our family's, the only one that I know of, our family's first entrepreneur. And I didn't set out to do this. I know Marcus did. Marcus, I wish he had joined me. Golly, I wish he had joined me. Marcus has been a natural born hustler all his life. He was the one. I'm telling you.
Sounds like a part 2. It sounds like another episode right
Yeah,
there.
man. Yeah, I agree.
He's getting into the contract or the in-house or residential investments like you guys do. So y'all definitely got to bring him back. But he's the one that's like, yo, let's get this money. We can do it. He's the go-getter. And we both are. I always thought I was the go-getter, but he's the one. And he's my younger brother. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
Like, he's the one that pushes me even to go harder. So I appreciate it.
Yeah. So
talk about.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. So talk about that dynamic, right? Yep. Like, so from what you cast just now is that he is like the visionary of the team. So talk about the dynamics of how y'all both use y'all strengths to be able to make y'all a team to be able to go out and get these contracts. What is his lane? What's your lane? And how y'all complement one another?
Gotcha. You know what? We were blessed. I always say that because, you guys are partners. You can't work with anybody. You can't start a business with anyone. It is real hard to do it with family. But me and my brother, we've always been pretty close. We grew up just, humble beginnings. Of course, our parents were in the military, so they weren't rich. You know what I'm saying? But we always leaned on each other, and our mom really pushed a togetherness, like from the start. Like y'all are all y'all got. We have two older brothers, but me and my younger brother spent most of our lives together. So we've always had a really close knit bond with each other. Marcus is, again, he's the go-getter. When I think about our business relationship, he's gonna laugh when I say this because I say it all the time. We're like a vehicle. Marcus is the gas and I'm the brakes. You know what I'm saying? Like he's like, let's get it, let's get it, let's get it, let's get it. And I'm like, hold on, slow
Same here.
down.
Same with us.
Let's read the fine print. You know
Same
what
with
I'm saying?
us. Yeah.
And it's
Same.
good to
Yep.
have that because
Yep.
I'm the type of person, unfortunately, I'll sit on something. I will. Like I got so much stuff going on. I'm gonna get to it when I get to it. And he like, well, hold on. Did you can we do this or
She
not? I'm like, I'm
preaching. She
gonna
preaching
do
to
it,
the
bro. Don't worry.
choir.
Yeah. He's the one that's like always pushing, like, yo, let's go do this. And it's good to have someone like that because
Absolutely.
you gotta have those it's not really extremes, but you gotta
Yeah.
have someone that's gonna push you and someone that's gonna slow you down and keep you level headed.
So
So I
creates
think that's
good balance, right? Creates
it
good balance.
does.
Yeah.
It really does.
So for those that are watching, right? Give us your brother said, hey, we should do this, right?
Mhm.
Kinda give us what steps did you all take to officially start the business, and
Mhm.
how was it getting your first government contract?
Ooh, we. Well, we again, just some research. How do you can go and Google how do you start a business in Maryland? Boom, they're gonna give you the step by step 1, 2, 3, right? So you go, you register your business, you get your EIN, you make sure you are a legitimate business and you're able to do business in the state that you are existing in. Um, for our government contracts, it was a little different. Doing business with the federal government, they source work from small businesses through sam.gov, sam.gov. And that on that site, vendors and small businesses can go in and register to do business with the government. They'll basically issue you a UEI, which is, don't get me lying, a unique entity identification or something like that. It used to be a DUNS number, but now they transitioned over to UEIs. They'll issue
Mhm.
a page code, and from there, you're basically an entity to do business with the government. At that point, once you're registered with SAM, you can go in and of course, you know what your capabilities are because you've already established yourself as a project management company or an IT company or what have you. Um, Once you know what you're doing, you get to the place where you're able to drill down opportunities, contract opportunities through your NAICS codes. NAICS, NAI, I think it's NAICS. Those are basically it's the way that a company identifies what their supply and services are. So one of our main NAICS codes is like 5411611. It's always a 6-digit code. You can drill down and filter through these contract opportunities, and there are a lot of them. When you go on sam.gov and you just look up procurement opportunities, it's overwhelming. So you do need to filter it by your capabilities, what you can do. Um, and of course, we also do business with the states, with state of Maryland and the state of Virginia. Same thing. We registered through their website. Every state has a procurement website where small businesses and vendors can go and register to do business with them. So it's relatively straightforward. There's no real like you gotta jump through a whole lot of hoops. You do in the beginning a little bit, but it's just applying to register your business. Make sure your business is legit. Make sure that you are, capable of doing business in your state, and then just take off running. You know.
So, talking about jumping through hoops, what is the biggest hurdle that you had to overcome while getting this business started or while currently running the business?
Mm, one of my biggest hurdles. Um, Shoot, I think I'm still I don't think I've overcome it. I'm still trying to overcome this hurdle. And that is honestly maintaining a full-time career while also running a business. It has been the biggest hurdle that me and Marcus have faced. I think
Hold on, pause, pump the brakes. Now I'm about to pump some brakes right quick.
was
So,
good.
because we just talked about this last week, right? So,
Yep.
are you saying that you have a government contracting business,
Mhm.
but you also work in a 9 to 5?
Absolutely.
Oh,
Yep.
talk to us. Talk to us, because we had this conversation last week, and so I'm so excited that we're back here because you're
Back
actually
right.
proving what we talked about last week. We talked about last week how there are people that are very successful being an entrepreneur while being a 9 to 5 employee, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like everybody is not full-time entrepreneurs. There are
Right.
some people that are entrepreneurs from 5 to 9, right? So they have a
Mhm.
9 to 5 and then they may run their business. So talk to us about that balance. Like, how are you actually trying to balance operating your business while being a loyal, on time, and faithful employee?
Mm,
All three of those? Am I
yeah.
Talk
all
to us.
three of them? No,
Yeah,
I don't know
yeah,
if that's
yeah.
well. One thing I did not mention, this is where I work. I work from home, and thankfully, prayerfully, Marcus and I both have been blessed to have careers where we can work from home. That is the only way I think we have gotten to this place because I can't go back into anybody's office at this point. If I do, I mean, it couldn't be both of us. It'd only have to be one of us. You know what I'm saying? But for me, like the balance is it's something that I've had to I have to keep reinventing it if that makes sense. I don't have a strict like I do this every day because things change, my goals change every year. Things pop up that I have no control over. Um, but again, my 9 to 5 is right here. RMG is right here. So if we're being truthfully honest, okay, our 9 to 5 is not spent at the computer all day. And everybody knows this. People who have real careers, people who really, really don't sit at the computer and click, click, clack a day all the way and are not like call center employees, you ain't really working all them 8 hours. So what
Mm.
I do is I make sure that the time that I need to put in with RMG, I have it cleared on my 9 to 5 job. So we have a standing meeting with our proposal manager twice a week. I make sure I don't have, and sometimes it overlaps. We have meetings that just collide. And here's the reason why I knew I could do this is because I've maintained 2 jobs before, 2 jobs in addition to RMG. So I've kind of been just good at multitasking. And there have been times when I would be on a meeting with a meeting in this ear and another meeting going concurrently at the same time. It's not for the weak. It's really not. You can't, and I don't suggest it at all. At all. If you can possibly just stick with one, stick with one. You know what I mean? But I was at the point where I was just trying to get my income right. I needed to get some extra money. I've been working this job for a while. I didn't want to quit it, so I was like, let's. You
So,
either do it or
but
don't. You know what
yeah.
I'm
So let
saying?
me ask you this: would you say is it fear, or are you not at a place comfortably with your business that you feel like, okay, we can go ahead because we have these contracts, they're coming in consistently. One of us can go ahead and go full time,
Yeah.
or like what is your reason for still holding on to the job? I
It's a
know
little
it's
bit of both. It's both. There's fear there because as a business owner, all you hear is horror stories. Sometimes
mm,
people go into business and then it doesn't work out. And contracting is fickle. You know what I mean? And the good thing about having like federal contracts is they're typically like 12 months, sometimes, 2 years, 3 years. As long as the contracts hold out, is good, but there's always uncertainty when you're running a business. So I think neither one of us are at the point where we're ready to let go. Yeah, I think we're ready. We want to. We want to let
Yeah.
go. We just kind of want to make sure we got a little bit more cushion with the business before we just walk all the way away from our 9 to 5. It's like having a main, having a side piece and having a main, you know what I mean? Like, I ain't really ready to let go of my main
Yeah,
yet.
yeah.
I don't want to move the side piece into this position till I know we're solid. You know what I'm saying?
Got you.
It's a horrible analogy, but I think people understand what I mean when I say that. You don't want to let go of the thing that has been, again, my 9 to 5 is what keeps my lights on in my house, is what keeps food on my
It's that
table.
safety net. It's the safety net.
Absolutely. And part of that, is the reason why I think we've been able to be so competitive with some of our bids, because we don't depend on RMG to keep the lights on in our house. So in the beginning, it was like, let's just get these contracts. You know what I mean? We were working damn near for free. And as long as we were making sure our expenses were paid, I didn't really care how much we made or what we profited from, because I knew we needed to get that experience. That's how you show these government entity or agencies that we can do this. We have this capability to do it because we've worked for the State Department. We've worked for the VA. And when you have those on your resume, they're like, oh, okay, so you've already done this work. It doesn't matter how much we made. You don't even know how much we made. Just know
Yeah.
that we successfully did this contract. You know what I mean? And now I think we're getting to a better place where we don't have to like nickel and dime our way, but we were cutting out a lot of the competition that way. And I think once we get to a place where we're making more, eventually, but it ain't coming yet. I'm not ready. I know Marcus is probably not ready yet either. So, but
Got you.
we'll
Got
get
you.
there.
So something for the viewers and the listeners out there, and something I want to just drive home there, Tiffany, is that you worked for free just to get that education and get that experience. So then the contracts that come down the road, you are able to ask for that extra dollar or that top dollar. So don't shy away. And this is me speaking to the viewers and the listeners. Don't shy away from being uncomfortable with what you initially get paid. If this is something you truly want to do, the salary, the benefits, the perks come down the road. But as long as you don't quit and you keep on pushing through and you adjust and you pivot and you ensure that you're reevaluating how your company's operating and acclimating to the times or whatever industry you're in,
Yep.
it will come. It will come. And this is example right here. They started off not making any money off their contracts. They got the education behind it, the experience behind it, and it turned into now making profit. And then it continued to make more and more profit to the point their 5 to 9 replaces their 9 to 5. Or in this case, your 9 to 5 doesn't have to work concurrently with your 9 to 5, right?
Yeah.
We're not competing
Yeah,
anymore.
yeah.
That's dope. And what I love about it, Tiffany, is that you got receipts, right? And
Yep.
so when you talked about, what you all was willing to sacrifice in the beginning, what you were doing was getting receipts. And it reminds me of a video I was watching of Eric Thomas, right? And he talked about how he did this speaking engagement. He was doing speaking engagements for free. And then he did a voiceover, right? And he was competing with other motivational speakers to get, I think it was like Nike or Gatorade. It was somebody, right? But what he did was, because, everybody's coming in and they giving what their price point is to do this voiceover. And he said, I'll do it for free. Right? So it was like, oh, okay, you got it. He did it for free just to get the receipt. So he can go now and say, hey, I did this Nike commercial. They're not asking how much you got paid for it, right? But I have the receipts.
Yeah.
I did that. And so that right there, I think people should take note of that you all were willing on the front end to say, hey, we're going to win this bid and we may not get paid. Our employees are going to get paid. We may not get paid, but we have this on our resume. We got receipts now to say we did this. We accomplished this, right? We met these metrics. And it looks good when you're going to ask for top dollar or be competitive with your pricing.
Because now I got something to stand on. My past performance says I can do this. You need to pay me.
That's right. That's right. Let me give her something. Yes, That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. Randall, what you got for, bro?
So something you mentioned that in your intro that me and you met in the military. How much has the military influenced and how you operate? Because I know for me, like the military is embedded in me. Like I'm institutionalized from some of the things I learned from the military and how I operate now. How much of that has influenced how you operate RMG?
I definitely got my discipline from the military. I would like to say that I got it. I got it from home too. My mom was in the Army, my dad was Air Force. But going into the military, it's a wake up call that a lot of kids don't, at our age, don't have unless you've done that. Like, you gotta be at work. You don't have the ability to sit at home and be like, I'm gonna skip class today. No, if you don't come to work, you're going to jail. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're gonna get you. And that discipline is what I think, that's where my work ethic started. I wasn't the best sailor, I will say that. I had a lot of mouth, and I knew very early on that I wasn't going to stay. I wasn't going to last. But at least I knew, you know what I'm saying? Like, this isn't for me.
Yeah.
But
trust me, Tiffany, I know if you don't go to work, you go to jail. Yeah.
Do you, from experience?
Yeah, I had my little break time. I know that. I know. Yeah.
I just had a lot of time. I had a lot of
yeah.
And I didn't think I knew it all, but I felt like I was smarter than a lot of people. You know what I mean? So, like, I had a questioning spirit about me. Like, you can't tell me to go mop in the rain and think I'm not going to tell you this is dumb as hell.
You're a boss. You're a boss. You know what I'm saying? You're a boss. You're a boss. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. It was instilled in me. Again, I think the biggest thing I took away was definitely the discipline. And, these benefits, because we are a service disabled veteran owned business. A lot of people don't realize we haven't even talked about the set asides. When you are a government, when you are doing business with the government, they're required by law to set aside a certain amount of work specifically for small businesses. And even within that demographic, we're a woman-owned business, we're a minority, we're veterans. Like, there's an even smaller pot just for us. So I push it so much that people should just, just register with Sam. Go see what's out there, and we may be getting off topic, but I think me and my brother talked about this last week. The government last year spent, I want to say, $6 trillion in goods, services, and programs last year. And about a quarter of that, I researched it, a quarter of that went to small businesses. Do you know that means that's about...
that's over $1 trillion. Let's just say over $1 trillion right there.
$1 billion. It's about 150, $160 billion in contracting work alone. Okay. That's a lot of money. And I told Marcus, we don't even have to get a whole slice. I just want some crumbs. You know what I'm saying? Like, I tell everybody, just see what's out there. You just never know. Go get that work. Go get that money that they are putting into us. And they have to make sure that small businesses are taking up some of this work. It's so important.
So when you're getting these contracts, right? Because you have to staff these contracts. What are the things you're taking into consideration? Do you already have a pool of people that have certain skill sets that you're trying to match to a contract that's out there, or you reverse go contract first and then try to find people to fill that contract?
Both. Because we've already done this so much, we keep a pool of candidates and resumes on file just for opportunities that may come up. But in the beginning, like, let's be clear. One of the first things that I was doing, I still do this sometimes. When people would email you, like, you've all been on Indeed and all these other job boards, and people just sometimes randomly email you like, hey, are you still interested in, we got your resume here. I'll email them back directly like, I can't work this, but what if I can find you someone? Can we do business?
Wow.
Nice.
Is that not a way to segue yourself into beyond the government work, but into these non-government commercial entities? And we did that, and we actually staffed for.
That's a mic drop. That's a mic drop.
Yeah.
Yo,
right.
That's creative.
That's how
that's
do it,
entrepreneurship. Using your resources, right? Yeah.
Always got to try to seize an opportunity. We staff for an audiology company. This is my brother's friend who's here in Southern Maryland. Just by talking to her, she was like, yeah, I'm looking for a receptionist. Marcus was like, bing, bing, bing. We can look for one for you. We don't know nothing about audiology, but hey, we can find you a receptionist for sure.
Wow.
And that's we started, she was one of our first that we had on our own. And it helped us to like understand HR. We could kind of make mistakes without making too big of mistakes, you know what I mean? Because we could talk to her directly. She was a friend. And it kind of continued to help us grow, in
Yeah, we
our
definitely got to have a part two because you just opened up a whole nother conversation that I hope our viewers that are watching, really glean from what you just said. Like that right there, that's a
you don't
staffing
ask
company.
if you don't ask the question,
Yep.
you'll never know.
Yeah.
Yeah, the worst you could say is no, I want you. Well,
Yeah.
I'm not available. I
Wow.
got some people I can put in
Yeah.
place for you.
Yeah.
And if
Yeah.
I do that, understand that this salary is going to be a little more because I got to take some off the top for our for our company. But at the same, that's how you grow. That's how you get your name out there. And we are a staffing company, so
So
you
all
have
right.
to.
So here's my question then, right? So when you say that to that business owner, supervisor, hiring person, right? How do you decide what their pay is, the wage? Are you negotiating wage and then saying, all right, you negotiate with the company first and then you put on,
We'll tack on what we need for to cover, make sure our expenses are covered, which is basically paying the employee. And
okay,
anything additional, we use a payroll system. So every time we add a new user, we have to pay an extra couple dollars for that, right? Make sure those expenses are paid. And then whatever we want to make off of it, we just tack that percentage on there. So if they're saying, hey, we got a project manager role, can you work it for $65 an hour? I can't, but I can probably get you somebody. Can
mm,
I negotiate $75, $80 an hour?
wow,
Sure. Okay, I got you a person. And then you go find someone. On the flip side, though, looking for when you're doing contract work, when you're bidding on these contracts, sometimes they want you to submit resumes with the proposal. So
hmm
that's what we do ahead of time. We build out these job descriptions, find people who are, if we have people already, we can use sample resumes, but sometimes that's a little iffy because you want to make sure that that person, if you win, can they work it,
right, right,
that's
right.
that's the part where we
So
put job descriptions out there with the contingency upon winning the award.
all right, so I have a final question for you, right? So and we'll go to wrap this up. But you talked about earlier your mentor. How did you find your mentor, right? Like, how did you get, and what made you say, hey, we need a mentor? Because most people that go into business don't think of, hey, I need a mentor, I need a coach, right? So, what made you think of that? And then how did you locate, how did you find that person?
Finding them, well, we worked with them. There were, so two of our mentors we are currently in partnership with. We work for, Marcus has known two of these people, these young ladies who run government contracting businesses like ours. We're a sub for an Air Force contract, and we also work with another company, and we're on the next generation seaport contract with her. So it's really about networking. Networking is so important in not burning bridges. Again, these two people that Marcus worked with in the past, he could reach back and say, hey, me and my sister, me and my business partner, we're starting up a company. We would like to talk to you about maybe partnering, maybe some mentorship. These are people who were willing to reach back and say, sure, let me teach you what I know. My old supervisor, and I actually, again, when I talked about coming up to DC and I worked as a government contractor, I worked for Terry Yarbrough, his company's APA, Advanced Program Analytics. I was his first contractor. He was service disabled, veteran owned business. He, started his business, and CSRA actually gave him his first contract simply because he knew people, and he had talked to folks and obviously had a good reputation, and they said, okay, we'll give you an opportunity. And I was that opportunity. He found me through Indeed. So I worked for his company for a little bit, And once we eventually went our separate ways because I left contracting altogether, I just had to go. It was time for me to go, but we stayed in touch. And it's important to not burn bridges, because when I reached back to him, he said, yeah, congratulations on starting your business. Let me help you. Let me talk to you guys and get y'all to the point where, y'all are not making the same pitfalls that I made. And it's hard to find people who are willing to do that, because a lot of people don't want to talk about the mistakes they've made. You know what I mean?
Right.
They don't. I came out the gate successful. Like, that's not how it works at all.
Right.
And I really appreciate that. So that's what it was for us: finding mentors, people who we've worked with before, that we knew were in a similar business, and we knew that we had a decent enough relationship to reach back and ask them to hold our hand.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Got you.
Yeah.
So to end this out and round this off, is we always want to end with, what is your goals? What's your goal a year from now or 5 years from now? So when we look back at this podcast and recap, we're able to see, wow, she actually did that. Or you and Marcus. I'm gonna say you and Marcus actually did that.
For both of us, yeah. For this year, we always try to set goals at the beginning of every year. I do that personally and professionally. For this next year, is really, our goals are set around getting more robust with our submitting proposals. Because again, we haven't been able to really do a lot of it because we both work full time. But last year, we recently hired a proposal manager. Shout out to Alice. She's amazing. She's our proposal manager, and she's taken a lot off of our plates. She's the one who goes out and looks for proposal or opportunities for us. She brings them to us, kind of already does a high level review, gives us some bullet points like, yep, y'all can go for this one. Give me what I need to put together this proposal, and I'll put it out there. It's January 9th, and we've already submitted a proposal this year. So she's part of our goal for this year, is becoming a lot more robust with putting out proposals, because it's just like applying for a job. You go look for a job, you submit a resume, and if you get the interview, cool. Same thing. You see these RFPs out there, you submit a proposal. If you get the award, cool, but you got to make sure you're putting it out there. You can't just apply to one and think you're going to get the job. You know what I'm saying? You got to make sure that you're putting it out. 5 years, honestly, I can't even tell you where I want to be 5 years from now. I think Marcus would be better at that, because I know I'm trying to tap out in about 10 years. I told Marcus I'm gonna be retiring at 50. I gotta hang it up at 50. That's my goal. As long as I keep hitting my marks, I think I'm gonna be able to accomplish that. But he wants to expand, and he's doing that right now. As far as with his investment properties and things. And I know we eventually want to get into commercial property development as well. So that's part of the reason why I went back to school, so that I can be our architect, essentially. And we're just trying to keep the ball moving, really. I don't think there's a limit. There's no limit to where we want to go. Wherever he wants to do, he knows I'm on board. So let's run it up. So our website you can visit is www.resolutemg. That's M as in Mike, G as in golf.com. On that website, you can go to, we do have a place where you can just submit resumes just for general consideration. We also have a link that takes you directly to jobs that we do have open that we're trying to fill for. And then if you want to just contact us directly, email us info@resolutemg.com. So, and of course, our phone numbers are on our website as well. We don't have much of a social media following because we just don't market, unless we are posting for jobs. But
yeah, you doing government contracts.
Yeah, we don't do the socials too much.
Yeah. So I know I said last question, but I just thought about something. So you all have a security clearance, I'm sure?
We both do, yeah. But we don't have a facility clearance because I believe we have to have an office for that, and we're not at that point
yet.
That's
part of the 5-year goal. I love it. Part of the 5-year goal. Let's go.
And Marcus is ready, but I'm like, yo, you realize again, he's the one. He's the let's go. He's like, I see spaces everywhere. We can go set up office. I'm like, bro, you know how much it costs to operate. We can just do this from home. Let's just do this from home for a little bit more. We don't need an office space right now. You know what I mean? There's so much more than just the rent. You got all the things to keep the office running.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. So listen, Facebook, IG, YouTube, y'all go ahead and put some fire in the chat, and let's give it up for the one and only Tiffany Culley doing her thing, y'all. Hurry, Marcus.
Thank you guys again. So, you know what? Cheers to y'all, because I see good things. This is water, by the way, but I see good things happening for you guys, man. Y'all are y'all doing it, and I like it. I love the networking. I love the camaraderie. I love that we are like-minded business people who are just coming together and leaning on each other and taking good stuff, nuggets from each other, and building each other up.
Absolutely.
That's on the Forte Podcast.
That's the only way we grow.
That's it.
The way we grow.
Yep. That's it. That's it. I love it.
And get Marcus on here.
Thank you for coming on in. You said what?
Yeah, I appreciate y'all. Get Marcus on here next time. He's gonna listen. He's gonna be all right. That's the one that you want to talk to, not me.
We got you.
No, and you, not you, and you. Don't discount yourself.
That's right.
I never go down like that, but I'm saying he's the one that he should have been here. He's the talker. He's the you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not really me. That's not my thing. But yeah. Get him on here next time.
You did great. Tremendous job. And we want our viewers, our watchers to put some fire in the chat. Let's put some fire in the chat, y'all, for Tiffany doing her thing, y'all. Hey, Randall, man, you that's a fire guest, man. Each week, brother. Each week was just we popping and rolling.
Keep going. Let's keep going.
You know what I mean? Popping
and rolling. Stay tuned. Stay tuned for more. Stay tuned for more.
Stay tuned for more. So listen, remember May 4th. May 4th, we will start releasing tickets to make them available so you all can get your tickets for the Forte Experience in Washington, D.C. on May 4th. In the meantime, I am Dominic Epps.
And I am Randall Monfiston. What's your forte?
Hey, we out of here, man. Y'all take it easy.